Hello, and I have a story of my teenage to start with first. When I was promoted to my ninth standard in school, uh, we had two batches that were merged as one. And in my first exam, I went from rank number 5 to rank number 14th. And suddenly I realized I wasn't as good a student as I thought I was in terms of percentages. Uh, that was a big shock to me. And for a couple of days, I kept thinking about it. But over a period, I made peace with what I knew rather than getting stuck in my academic results. Yes, today we are going to speak about academics and a life when reality check happens to you. Uh, when you have certain ideas about something and something else happens and you figure out uh, how to delve into it, how to understand it, how to come out of it. I am very lucky to have with me a bright young girl, Roohi. Welcome to the show, Roohi.
Thank you.
And as I mentioned, the topic is reality check. We are looking at academics to start with, but it can be anything that a teenager faces during their studies and this part of life specifically. So, my first question is, how do you look at academics as being important to your gathering knowledge?
Actually, I don't think it's important at all because I would like to share, like, whatever you said, um, something which was the complete opposite, almost like that happened to me. So I thought that, everybody would, like to read books like me and all of that. But, like, when I told my friends about this, they like, and you know then I realized that people don't like to read all of this. Right now the world is different, and um, there are some random new genres which people are reading from new authors, and like it was the same for academics. If I had to share, then um, basically, uh, if I had to say, then in academics, a lot of my friends used to rote learn a lot. So even I used to rote learn. So then one day I told myself that I'm not able to do this, and I decided not to do it. And I actually ended up getting good marks in that exam. And I told my friends that even you guys should stop. But then I realized that this is how all of it works now. There's nothing you can do about it now. Everybody, whether they know anything or not, whether they have any intellect or not, they are just going to, in academics, they are obviously going to excel if they rote learn, whether they understand anything or not. So basically the importance is undermined when it comes to that.
Okay. Um, for a second, you said something that triggered off a different direction in my head. In your age, is it very important to belong to a certain group or a certain pattern of thought? Because we often, do not let other people know what we are thinking, and then we want to belong, we want to be seen as with it. Uh, is it very important to you personally?
It used to be, now it's not. Because right now, if you see, there's individually, if you look at people, they are not very different. Before, I mean, there were a variety of things, but now, when you look at social media and all of this, they look at, they idolize the same people, they watch the same news. So, they have the same techniques, they read the same books. So, like, they are very similar at an intellectual level, if not a personal level. And if they watch all of this and this is the kind of media they consume, then they will obviously talk about it. Now if somebody like me is not indulging in stuff of those sorts, then it becomes very hard for me to relate with them, in terms of what they talk to,
Okay.
what they talk about.
Uh, well, I can first congratulate you because the creative journey is a very solo journey. Whatever you become in life, one thing you will realize very soon is that it is very lonely, very alone, and very fulfilling because of that. There are bad times, but there are many good times, and you will also find your tribe. So there will be other people who think like you, who are like you, who may have other talents, they read other things, but uh, they are also struggling in their own paths, own journeys that they choose. They are also sometimes sure, sometimes unsure. So it's a good journey ahead of you. Very interesting. You will not be able to predict what is going to happen next. Uh, what makes you sure what you know is right?
Because it's not right, but like whatever people say, I think they tend to say that this is an opinion of ours and all of that. Basically, that is one hot topic in my school. They debate about whatever they see on the news and all of that. So, um, I so it's not necessarily like right what I say. Some things can be opinions, but what I see around me now from an opinion, they call it an opinion, but a lot of the things they say I find immoral. So that is why I sometimes feel that I'm different, and whatever I'm saying is more right than theirs, because a lot of the times they don't have opinions. They say immoral things which are very hurtful. So that is why.
Okay. Uh, what is the thing that you like most about yourself? In the terms of where do you get this confidence from? What is it that you Uh, so if I were to specify, if the answer you gave me, this is what you think, even if it's your opinion, to arrive at that opinion, you would have done something uh, that makes you sure that this is a good way to think. How do you arrive at that opinion?
So basically, what everybody does, I just tried not to follow what they did, because if I am not liking what they're doing, then I should not force myself to think the way that they think. So if they read certain things, if they watch certain movies, it's not necessary that I also do the same. So I consume pieces of media on my own. I do things which are not like theirs and which interest me. I think there are many people like me, but in the end they just give in to other people. But I decided not to do that, and I think that is the most important thing to
Wonderful,
arrive at.
wonderful. So let me ask you a difficult question now. A lot of easy questions have happened. How did you arrive at this? Oh, I have to do my own thing. I don't have to follow the crowd. Because in your age, friends matter a lot. Other people's opinions matter a lot because you're learning, not because you have a lesser opinion of yourself, but it's just you're learning. You're consuming all kinds of knowledge. Uh, how did you go through that bad time of listening to everyone and then come to this good time of, oh no, I will follow what my heart says. Maybe sometimes I'll be wrong, but it's okay. At least it will be what I have understood. So how did this gap get covered for you?
It was a slow process. I mean, the first step was that whatever they are saying is, this does not happen to everyone, but one particular thing that struck me was how hurtful they can get in the comments they make. And, they have no, a lot of people have no understanding of what they are saying. And then I thought that I don't want to, be like them. So basically, that was one of the key ways in which I did it. And then, so you're asking that how I bridge that gap, or like the what
Yeah,
happened in the
yeah, because it is
process?
a, so all of us do things to be liked. to be respected, to be accepted, to be part of a group. Now, sometimes you may have different thoughts from what the group is thinking. Now, it's a very difficult thing for a lone person to come out and say, this is what I think, or I'll stay alone rather than be with company that I don't like, which is a good thing. But for that decision to be taken, you need courage. So, where did that courage come from? One of the things that I understood it that you realize you didn't want to be a person like they were, hurtful and say things that other people may not like and put other people down. Was there anything else?
Not really, but it was a slow process. I was like this for a very long time. But then, something drastic happened. I like found out about these kinds of books. So before, I used to be a reader, but then I had stopped. Even I was one of the people who, gave into it, that I want to be like them and I don't read and all of that. But then I found this one group of friends, and they made me realize that it's nothing. There's nothing cool in not reading, and being like them. And they were also very intellectual. They understood everything that was happening, and then didn't just talk about random things that they saw anywhere and made random comments. And they were very, like, well read, and were also kind people, because when you are well read, I think that naturally comes. So
Hmm.
I found that group of people, and they gave me the courage to do this.
Okay. So, if there is a non reader out there who is listening and may not have the same troubles that you have, but just so that they understand what is good about reading, what would you say to them?
Well, reading helps you, like, go into, you understand people better. Because right now, if you look at non-readers, they can't really understand people that well. It also helps you, gain empathy and understand what somebody is going through. Because in reality now, people don't even care about you, and you're not supposed to care about anyone, and you just like look at the faces of people, and you can't go deeper. So maybe even if they need you, you won't be able to help them, and you will never understand that you need to help them. So I think, you know reading helps you build empathy mostly, and understand people and the world. Because the setting is basically, it's more elaborated in that. Now if you are trying to make sense out of what is going on around you, then I think reading is the best thing that you can do.
Okay.
Because then you can also find characters who you relate to, and are trying to make the same sense of the world that you are also trying to do.
If somebody were to ask you, tell us three lessons you've learned from books, life lessons that you've learned from books, what would they be?
Three life lessons. Now, I didn't start reading for life lessons, but like I understood some things. That the first thing is that there's, you know, nothing there in people who, you don't want to be like. So then reading helped me be like that, helped me go away from the people that, I didn't really want to be like, and I was surrounded by. And the second life lesson I learned is that, understand people, be kind, have empathy, understand people's emotions, help them. Because that is one thing I saw in reading, which, kids my age. So I used to read things which were, from different times, and I understood one thing, that right now in social media and all of that, people have grown very disconnected, but it's not going to take them anywhere. That is one thing that reading taught me, that whatever you do, you're going to need people at the end. It's not going to work like that. The third lesson I learned was maybe that, nothing really. I think this is what you learn. Otherwise, like I just enjoy um, reading because
Hmm.
of the characters and settings and all of that. But whatever it is, it must simultaneously be helping me, but like and teaching me something, but like I can't identify that.
Okay. Point taken. Uh, who is the character that you've been shaped by most in this world so far from whatever you've read, and why?
It's not really any character I have been shaped by. Not really, because I don't even remember after I read the book who is it. But whatever it is, the books I read, they do shape me, even if I don't remember them. So, not one particular character, but I mean, um, I don't really relate to the idea of children in these books because they were like written at different times. People my age are understanding a lot more because they are exposed to a lot more. I don't think it was like that before. So, I've been relating to characters who are like, young adults, like in that age group. But like, whether it's an old woman who's feeling lonely or like it's a young kid, those emotions you will find anywhere. So there's no specific character which I would say.
Hmm. What do you think about the grey characters in books who don't seem to have a particular set of values which are cast in stone? So they are not always goody goody, but they are not bad also, but they seem to have both type of characteristics. What is your take on them?
I didn't understand your question.
Do you understand what gray characters mean in stories? So gray character. So we have heroes and villains. But
Yes.
if you have a positive character who seems to have some negative characters also, characteristics also, uh, how do you see those characters?
I think they are actually the most relatable among us all because the author, the protagonist, needs to have that big and exaggerated personality, like good person and all of that. But in reality, nobody is like that, and it's just so people can idolize them. The protagonists, I think, are made like that, and villains are made so that you can hate them. Their personality is made like that. But and these characters, these gray characters, you can actually relate the most to them because in reality nobody is a big superhero and nobody is a villain. So I think they are very important, as they keep the story grounded in reality as well and don't make it like too imaginary.
Hmm. Uh, suppose in a very dark scenario, all your books were to be taken away from you and you had nothing to read. What would you be thinking, and how would you fill the gap that the books have, the lack of books create?
I'm not, a bookworm like people tell me. I can survive without books. Basically, any piece of media actually, I can survive on. So whether you show me movies or like whatever, you find the same characters everywhere. And if you're like asking me how I would react, it would not be that great because like that massive, like people think that if you take the books away from a person who likes reading and then they'll have nothing to look forward in life. It's not like that. I mean, it's also you need to stay in reality. You need to experience things around you. I mean, books are just a um, reflection of that, but mostly I would not react that much.
Okay. Um, do you feel that there might be some merit in thinking that because you are so well read, you are little ahead of your peers, and that is why the dissonance in your attitude and theirs is there?
I actually, me and my friends, we considered ourselves way more superior than the others, and that is also like evident in all our classes. And when the teacher asks a question, not in like academic subjects, but in something like history, then I thought that this is basic and everybody would know it. But like me and my friends are one of the only people who raised the hand. So then I realized that people are not interested in what's happening around them, and these days people just want to watch doom scroll on YouTube and do nothing else. So I think that is why people who read, or like have other things to do in life, they should have the pleasure of calling themselves more superior.
Well, that was not supposed to go like that, but it was a funny and apt answer, I would say. Do you like to do other things like cook or uh, try something? Is there any such hobby that you have which you enjoy, which is non-media consumption?
Yeah, so I wanted to cook for a long time, but like I've not been doing it because of school and all of that. And I also like to play table tennis. It's one of my hobbies, so it like helps me get rid of all my anger. Just like smash the ball on the table, and I play with my dad, and we enjoy in that time, because you can't always read and do something. So if you want to relate to something that you read, you need to do something. You need to hang out with people. So I think that is also very important, because I don't, I also understand people who read a lot and then don't look up from it and then skip all their meals for all of that, and because that is also not good. You should like not be disconnected from the social world. Hobbies are
Hmm.
important apart from.
Well, I was guilty of that for a while. I think every summer vacation, my mother used to find ways to thrash me because I had never let go of books. Uh, but it was a fun thing. I was okay with getting thrashed, but I still wanted to read the books. It was an escape to the worlds that I like to experience and figure out what happened to those characters and how stories were told. Uh, yeah, you reminded me of a fun time there. Not that my mother would agree. She used to say, "अरे माने books के बाहर निकलो और कुछ." I used to play and everything, but I'm saying कि give me a book which I have not finished, then I am out to finish it. And that was like the thing those days. Um, Tell me something. If you had to be a storyteller of any sort, what would be the most important point for you in a story? Not necessarily the characters obviously have to be good and whatever, but what I mean is, what is your most, why would you tell a story if you had to tell a story?
I wanted to elaborate on the point about the characters. So basically, I think in lots of books I've seen that the characters are just victims of the plot devices. So actually, whatever they do is I would not expect them to do it. And if they want to show, like for example, um, a broken friendship, then it's like not done very naturally. So what I would like to show in my books is I would want to make it very natural, even if it's uh, there's no real plot to it. So how the characters interact with each other, how the story moves forward because of them. So the actions of the characters, like not the characters themselves, they need to be grounded in reality, and they need to look real.
Okay.
That is one thing.
Um, at your age, do you do you expect more respect to come your way from adults because you are so well read and you would want to be part of their conversations? And does it happen?
It does not happen because they have a stereotypical perception about kids my age, that they are like this and all of that, and I'm also not like them. adults, they have so much, they work and they have other things to do in life. But like, I in the end hang out with people who are my age, so I can't be a part of their conversations, and I would not like to,
You
because
wouldn't
it's
like
like,
to.
yeah, because we have like completely different lives now. I don't go to a job, and I'm not very well aware about political slang. Like, I understand the basics, but whatever it is, I have my own group of people. But like, I would like to be respected a bit more by adults, because they can't just if somebody is not like the others, then that, they tend to give them the talk to them like this. So now a few months ago, I myself had gone to some family member's house, and they tried to, they bought some kitty for me for as a gift, but like, because they thought I was like the other kids. But then I think that, they should also try to understand people before giving them a certain amount of respect or attention, because I don't think that is very prevalent in this
Hmm.
time.
That's a very good answer. A lot of people would say that my kid, she creates a ruckus to get her respect. Obviously, she's a little older than you. She's 17 now. So she knows how to shout her way and get her respect. And so, what do you see in the coming year? I think will be the last year of your school. Uh, is there any plan as far as looking at how you are going to negotiate the world in terms of career or in terms of what you want to do? Do you have any ideas about that?
It's not my last year in school, first of all, but
Next
like,
year.
no, it's also not next year. But like, I I first of all don't think a lot about my future and all of that.
Okay.
I mean, I do sometimes wander off, but I think that whatever will happen, it will happen at that point of time, because I've heard of this girl who was in my school. Now, in fourth grade, she wanted to do some PhD in history or something like that, and then she ended up going to some HR job. So, like, it always changes. So, I don't think people should think a lot about it. And in like negotiating the world, I think that nothing really now. Whatever the world throws at me, I'll have to face in the end and build a life for myself. However,
Hmm.
that is, everybody has to do that.
That is quite a wise answer for your age. Um, Good. I am running out of questions because your answers are so perfect that I have to think of scenarios. Uh, I've enjoyed this conversation very much. Do you want to ask me anything at all?
I don't know.
Sorry?
I don't know really what I can ask. So maybe I've also seen less people like you, adults who do like this kind of stuff, run a YouTube channel, and care so much about um, what is happening around them. So I think that is unique about you. So do you, like, also feel that like, even adults in today's times, they're very stereotypical, and they don't want to you what, I'm not able to frame my question. Like,
Okay. Let me
to get
answer
the
with
gist of it.
what I understood of what you're asking. So it is difficult to find time and do something that immediately doesn't pay you off because knowing people requires time, sitting with them, talking to them. Uh, Also, these things are very subtle. So we we need to spend a lot of time before we get to really know the person, any person, even on camera, so it's even more difficult. I have been lucky because I am from the media. I have been a writer. I've always been interested in people's minds more than what they claim that their minds are. So I like the fact that they may be saying something, but what they mean might be something else. And not necessarily negative, but sometimes they don't even know what they want. So they spend a lot of time trying to posture and say we are this, but you can actually see, oh, behind this there is this fear, there is this anger, there is this need to be accepted. And I also see the same in me. My own search for myself is also same. I keep finding new things to be excited about myself or unsure about myself or unhappy I wish to develop. Uh, so, for example, when I'm listening to you, I find, oh, I wish I always was a reader like you are now. And the same thing, I felt very alone because most people in my group also were non readers. But it never stopped me because I thought it is complete in itself. The whole, matlab you and your book, it's a relationship of sorts. You know,
About non-readers, I wanted to say that it's fine if people don't like to read and stuff like that, but I don't like people who are, like that's the proudest thing in the world. They are the most proud that they don't read, and the boys in my class, they're like, we've not visited the library for like 2 years, and they are, you know, showing off to the English teacher that they've not visited the library for 2 years. So I don't like people like that. It's
hmm.
completely fine if you don't like to read, but that behavior is like not good.
Yeah, I am also very clear about this one fact that I have learned a lot of things from people who don't read. But what I liked initially is that you said that it makes you kinder because it makes you understand other people. If you're willing to be kind, if you're willing to be honest, if you're willing to understand the other person's point of view, that is good enough for me. Then being a reader or not being a reader is not really important. And this
Yeah, but
whole process of running the podcast also that you gracefully accepted to join today is also that. Sorry, you were saying something.
yeah, but like even if it makes you kinder, the first thing, I've heard a lot of readers says that we know that the world is not made up of, people don't show their kind sides. It is made like that. I mean, everybody has that kind side to them, but the circumstances are such everywhere that, they have all these tiring jobs, they don't get to do what they enjoy. A lot of people, are pulled into the system and they don't get to follow their dream and all of that. So basically, then you can't really, you know, that negative side of you will come out because you are frustrated that, it's not happening the way I want. So that is also one thing I would like to share.
True. So it's been a wonderful conversation, Ruhi, with you, and I'm so glad that we had this chat. There is so much to learn and understand, and there's a world ahead of you to experience and figure out. So I wish you all the best in your in whatever you do, in your reading, in your non-reading, in your discovering people, in your social side, in your understanding those guys who do not go to the library and are proud of it. There is a reason why they do that. There is a reason why they think they know better. And it's a fascinating world because we are all different. In that sense, it's a very interesting thing. I shall see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
I leave the meeting now.
Uh, you will have to send me a picture of yours.